we're doing part 4 of the quotes of Oscar Wilde, the great Irish writer. He says, "I can resist anything except temptation." Nowadays, with our modern mania for morality, everyone has to pose as a paragon of purity and all the other 7 deadly virtues. Democracy simply means the bludgeoning of the people, by the people, for the people. In the old days, men had the rack. Now they have the press. Disobedience in the eyes of anyone who has read history is man's original virtue. It is through disobedience that progress has been made. Modern journalism, by giving us the opinions of the uneducated, keeps us in touch with the ignorance of the community. Any fool can make history, but it takes a genius to write it. And that's a little bit of a joke about, Edward Gibbons and, Babington Macaulay, They became very famous. The English liked reading about their own history. Edward Gibbons was a jerk. He was a Protestant atheist who tried to blame the Roman Empire collapse on the Catholic Church. Scumbag. Okay, Oscar Wilde continues. Rich bachelors should be heavily taxed. It is not fair that some men should be happier than others. There's only one thing infinitely more pathetic than to have lost the woman one is in love with, and that is to have won her and found out how shallow she is. We really have everything in common with America nowadays, except, of course, the language. Experience is the hardest teacher. It gives you the test first and the lesson afterwards. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, he says, a man's face is his autobiography. A woman's face is her work of fiction. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. An acquaintance that begins with a compliment is sure to develop into a real friendship. It starts in the right manner. One's style is one's signature always. Yeah, with a good writer, it's them because they got a unique, personal, individualistic voice. At Oxford, Oscar Wilde was asked to translate a passage from the Greek version of the New Testament into English. And having done well, the examiner told him he could stop. And Oscar Wilde said, "Oh no, let me go on. I want to see how it ends." Oscar Wilde on women. He says, "No woman is a genius. Women are the decorative sex. They never have anything to say, but they say it so charmingly. Women are a triumph of matter over mind." Oscar Wilde continues. He says, "I like to do all the talking myself. It saves time and prevents arguments." By the way, he was married with kids, and then he left his wife and kids to go have homosexual affairs with Bosie, and that ended up ruining his life. Oscar Wilde claimed that he could speak on any subject at any time. So his friend asked him, "What do you think of the Queen?" And Oscar Wilde replied, "The Queen is not a subject." Oscar Wilde was told that the psychiatrist Max Nordau had said geniuses are mad. And Wilde said, "Well, I agree with Dr. Nordau's claim that all geniuses are insane, but he forgets that all sane people are idiots." Tails have no place in a costume except on some Darwinian theory of heredity. And he would wear a sports coat with big tails on it for a cello. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask and he will tell you the truth. It is through art and through art only that we can realize our perfection. Through art and through art only that we can shield ourselves from the sordid perils of actual existence. No art ever survived censorship. No art will. Ultimately, the bond of all companionship, whether in marriage or in friendship, is conversation. The aim of conversation is recreation. Arguments are extremely vulgar, for everybody in good society holds exactly the same opinions. Technique of writing style is really personality, and that is the reason why the artist cannot teach it, why the pupil cannot learn it, and why the aesthetic critic can understand it. Okay, that's it for part 4 of Oscar Wilde quotes. Hope you found that helpful.